Hello and welcome back to my knitting channel, where I show you short tutorials on how to knit certain stitches or patterns. Today's pattern is the Lattice cable. This is a 8-row repeat with a 2-row setup. So you first knit 2 rows of a certain rib and then you just repeat the same 8 rows again and again. You have to cast on a multiple of 12 stitches for this pattern, so 12, 24, 36, 48, etc. Know that however how many repeats you knit, the first 2 and the last 2 stitches will be knitted in a certain edge. The pattern makes sure that it's always 4 knitted, 4 pearls, 4 knitted, 4 pearls, 4 knitted, 4 pearls at the edges. So that might be a little bit confusing when sometimes at the edge you have to suddenly purl a stitch that looks like a knit stitch. That's simply to create this edge border. So in effect it doesn't really curl very much, maybe due to the edge. It's technically not reversible, so this is the right side. This is the wrong side, although with a little waviness it does have a certain je ne sais quoi. So you could, in principle, use this as a scarf pattern. It doesn't curl up and both sides have their own uniqueness. So let's get started. So let's start with the setup. As I said, cast on a multiple of 12 stitches. I have casted on 24 stitches, so I can show you each row twice. So first we do 2 rows of setup. This is pretty easy. You just knit, repeat, row 1, setup, row 1. You knit 4, purl 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and purl 2. 1, 2. You repeat that all the way to the end. 1, 2, 3, 4 knits and 2 purls. There we are. Set up row 2, also easy peasy. It's reverse, knit 2, purl 4. That's what you repeat, and simply enough you're just knitting your stitches as they come. So you can see knit 2 and then purl 4. Easy enough. 2 and then purl 4. And you repeat that with all your remaining stitches. Now we're done with the 2 setup rows. You can now forget them. You've done them. You don't have to do them ever again. As of now, you just do the 8-row repeat. Here is row 1. This is on the right side. You repeat the following. Either a C4B cable, or if you're more familiar with the abbreviation, 2/2R cable, they're both the same, and then a purl 2. Do note I knit my cables without a cable needle, so if that is confusing for you, it's not particular to this pattern. If you prefer to use a cable needle, absolutely use a cable needle. I just prefer not to, and I find it easier with that. So first 4 stitches you do a right leaning cable. So some people might find it tricky to do a cable in the first stitches, because basically you have to knit this stitch but your yarn is all the way here. But that's fine, just don't knit it too tightly in the first stitch. So we've done the cable, and then you do knit, sorry, that was a rabbit. Purl 2. Again, 4 stitch right leaning cable. Purl 2. And that was a dog knitting my tripod. You repeat these 6 stitches, all your remaining stitches. And let's get on to row 2. Row 2 on the wrong side, knit 2, purl 4. So basically, again, you purl the stitch, you knit the stitches as they come. So you knit all your knit stitches and you purl all your purl stitches. Do apologize for all the noises around me. I have a very small flat and I have lots of pets roaming free around me. I have told them that I am recording, but they don't give a fluff. Let's get on to row 3. On to row 3. This row is not a 6 stitch repeat. So you start with purling 2 edge stitches. This is the edge I was referring to in the beginning of the tutorial, and this is the part that is a little bit less intuitive, because here you have to purl 2 stitches that are actually 2 knit stitches. So yarn in front, you purl 2. Now you repeat, knit 2, and then you knit a 4 stitch cable right leaning with 2 purl stitches. That means you knit 2, then you do a C4B purl or a 2/2R purl. All these abbreviations, I know. So basically, just look at what is on your needle. A 4 stitch cable right leaning, so this continues to go right leaning, and you just knit the stitches as they are. So when you're doing the cable, you knit these 2, and you purl these. These 2 stitches, I believe, are the stitches that would be on your cable needle if you were using a cable needle. So you do that until you have 4 stitches remaining. So I'm going to do it a few more times. Knit 2, and then do a 4 stitch right leaning cable where you knit 2 of the 4 stitches and you purl 2 of the 4 stitches. Again, knit 2, you knit the first 2 stitches and you purl the last 2. You do this, so you repeat those 6 stitches until you have 4 stitches left. You see these are 2 knit stitches and 2 purl stitches, but again, as I said here, you knit all 4. 1, 2, and here the less intuitive part of the pattern, you knit these 2 knitwise. On to row 4. So after such a tricky row, we can take a little bit of a breather with row 4. You knit the stitches as they come. Here it would be a purl 4, knit 2, repeat. So here you just knit them as they come. Purl 4, knit 2. Although you are knitting the stitches as they come, it would be advisable, certainly the first time you're doing the 8 row repeat, to actually count purl 4, knit 2, purl 4, knit 2, just as a way to check that you did do the previous row correctly. You can use this as a bit of a checkup. You can use all the wrong side rows actually as a bit of a checkup, because this is a bit of an intricate pattern, and it would just be such a shame if you do several repeats, look back and then see, oh, I've made a mistake several rows ago. So always use the wrong side rows here as a little bit of a checkup. It all checked out. Wonderful. Let's get on to row 5. Row 5 is another 6 stitch repeat. So you start with purl 2, then you do a 4 stitch left leaning cable, so a C for F or a 2/2 L. So you knit all of the 4 stitches knitwise. Just show you that again. Purl 2, and then a 4 stitch left leaning cable. So we've been zigging until now, and now we're zagging. So it gives the cable pattern its charm, the zigs and the zags. There we are. You repeat those 6 till the very end. On to the next row. So row 6, wrong side. Again, easy peasy, but you can use it to check to make sure that you did the previous row correctly. Purl 4, knit 2, so same as the previous wrong side row. Purl 4, knit 2. One more time. Purl 4, and knit 2, and you just repeat this all the way to the end. Row 7 and the last cable row in this repeat, you're going to knit 4 edge stitches, these, and then you're going to repeat a left leaning 4 stitch cable on which you purl half the stitches, knit 2, and then you purl the last 2 remaining. Confusing, but we'll get there. Come on. So here again we're switching the edge stitches, so even though you have 2 purl stitches here, you're going to knit all 4 knitwise. So knit 4, and now you're going to do the 6 stitch repeat until you have 2 stitches left, which is a 4 stitch left leaning cable or a C4 F purl or a 2/2 L purl. As you can see, you have 2 knit stitches here and 2 purl stitches here. So if you just do your basic 4 stitch left leaning cable, and then you just knit the stitches as they come. These two were purls, so you purl them. These two are knits, so you knit them. This pattern does have indeed 4 different kinds of cables, but if you just take it slow, especially in the beginning, and you really look at what you're working with, the stitches you're working with, it's a little bit easier. Just try and see what you have and what you're trying to attain. So let's do that one more time. Oh no, sorry, still have to knit 2 stitches. So let's do the 6 stitch repeat again. Going to do 4 stitch left leaning cable, and you're going to knit the stitches and purl the stitches once you've done this. So going to purl the back stitches, and you're going to knit the front stitches, and then you're going to knit another 2 stitches. One more time. You do the cable however you want, with or without a cable needle, and you purl the stitches of this cable as they come. These in the back were purl stitches, so you purl them. Sometimes a little bit difficult to see once if you're doing it without a cable needle. Sometimes it's a bit difficult to remember what these two were once you've rearranged them. So just think, what did they look like before I rearranged them? These are 2 knit stitches, you knit them, and you knit 2 more from the 6 stitch repeat, and you knit, you purl the last 2 stitches. So again here, the less intuitive, we're changing the edges here from knits to purls, you purl the last 2. So, on to the last row. The last wrong side row, again an ideal checkup to make sure that you did the cable row correctly. Knit 2, purl 4. You keep repeating that, and if it works out, then you nailed the previous row. So knit 2, purl 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you do that all the way to the end. I hope this tutorial was helpful. If so, give a comment or a like, or you can share this or whatever you want, but it always does help out my channel. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can always do that. My handle is @JaneJamesKnitwear, and there you can also see lots of photos of whatever I'm knitting and designing at the moment, and you can also sometimes see pictures of those noisy animals that are hopping around me, because they're just so fluffy and cute. So, zigzag. This was the 8-row repeat with the 2-row setup for the lattice cable. I hope this was helpful. See you next time. Bye!